Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. Today I'll show you my investment portfolio, which is sitting around $80,873. So the stock market has showing too much volatility in the last few days or weeks, and there are different reasons. The consequences of the initial tariffs because of Trump, China, and Europe. Also unemployment data that is increasing, core CPI, and other reasons that are pretty much making the stock market behaving in a not a predictive way. So if we can take a look right now on the stock market, it shows that it's going up again once again after August, the July 31st. We saw a small correction where the stock market went down for about 3.5% almost. So that was not enough to make sure that the stock market continues rallying up again. So you can see that it went up, reaching all new time highs. After reaching new all-time highs, it seems that it's not going to slow down too much. It might correct a little and then go up, and then we can see another huge correction. The huge correction that I expect to happen, it can be at the end of August or at the or on September. But it's for sure that it more probably happen on September. Usually August and September are the red months when you can see more corrections, and it might that happen this year too, but there are more chances that happen on September than on August because of we can take a history of the months how they performs in the stock market. September is the one that usually had a huge losses, and August the second one. So that's why I'm expecting that in the following weeks you might see a correction, a huge correction. But so far we have not seen uh, anything that is showing that is going to correct right away on the following week. In fact, there are not too many important meetings seeing in the upcoming days, so we might wait to see at what point the correction is gonna happen. But for sure, and I'm pretty sure, there will be a correction in September, and we might reach a point where we can just start buying stocks in a really cheap price. On the daily, you can see that it's not showing too much what is the direction of the stock market, but we go to the weekly, we can see that it has been trying to cross the RSI and the MACD to show any correction, but every time that I want to reach a correction, it bounces back and is going to rally up again. So that's why also that the stock market, it doesn't seem on the weekly chart that is not um, overvalued. In fact, once it reaches the point and it crosses this line, this particular line, then we consider that the stock market might hit a correction. If not, as I said, just let's wait for September, which usually is it's a month of losses. Now this is the weekly, still showing that it has potential to keep going up a little more. Now we go to the monthly. On the monthly, it has already reached the point. So as I said, we might see a correction by September, but so far there is nothing that is showing that is slowing down the stock market. Especially in the weekly, it seems that it has reached a point that it can just bounce back. In fact, it has reached it on the 645, which is pretty much the point where I was expecting to bounce back. But as I said, we gotta wait and not uh, assume that the stock market is gonna go down just in the following days. We might have to wait for an important reason to see that the stock market is not gonna continue going up. Now we'll go to my holdings. Nvidia still being my huge holdings right now with 52% up, Avgo 92% up, Apple 17% up, PLDR right now 5%, almost 6% up. And you might remember, like a few weeks ago, it used to be like a 10% down. Right now it's with gains. Google 23% up, Meta 53% up, Microsoft 30% up. Pretty much these are the stocks that are pretty much the 10 holdings, the top 10 holdings from the SPY, especially Microsoft, Meta, Google, Apple, Broadcom, Nvidia. All these pretty much are those that are keeping the SPY going up. Then ASML 5% down, not worried about it, has huge potential. Salesforce 6% down. It helped a lot on the last date on Friday. It went almost 4% up. In August 15, Friday, August 15. And NU 20% up, which last Friday making almost a 10% up. Huge gains. Keeping it still. BICI, real estate stock, 8% up. American Express, 31% up. NBIS or Nevius Group, I doubled my money on that one with 111% up. TSM 46% up. CMG 14.54% up down. Coinbase 36% up. In the last few days, I sold half of my positions. I might buy more if it keeps getting affordable price. But if that is not the case, I'm still holding what I have right now. Somehow 53% up. Uber 40% up. INDI, which is a semiconductor stock, 10% up. It used to be like a 30% down, but now it's 10% up, as you can see. This is a waiting game. You don't have to worry about it when you have huge losses. You see that it still has potential to go up, just hold it. HUBS 20% down. I'm gonna hold it with no issues. Then I have NEE or Next Era Energy 30% up. This is Grab, which I told you before is kind of like a Uber. 5% up. Also used to be down. CAN, another crypto stock, 4% down. OKE, 15% down. PGR, 7% down. GoDaddy, 14% down. But this is just pretty much less than 1% of my portfolio. These stocks right now are the one that has less than 1%. Now I was over, yeah, AMPX 158% up, more than double. UNH 11% up. Now some investors are starting to buy, so that's why it's going up again. OPTT 5% down. KULR LR 25% down. Core Wave right now 0.07% up. So this is one stock that I started buying. Core Wave after a correction So I saw that CRWB core way. You can see that it was rallying up all the way up, and then it went down and suddenly it started to go up again, and then I saw that it was going up down again. So when I saw this correction of the price, I bought some positions here. I'm still holding it, even if it's gonna keep going down, because it has the potential to keep going down in the $80 mark. So I'm just still waiting and see how it's gonna behave, this particular stock, because it has huge potential. Then I have Robinhood right now. I tripled my money to 111%. I only have one right now because I sold most of them around $100. So right now it's 114. Am I uh, am I angry about selling it because it keeps going up? Not. I'm not uh, sad or angry or just pissed off because I sold my stocks, because I sold and I had my profits, and I still believe that it can keep going down in the correction market on September. I'm just waiting. If that is not gonna happen, I'm gonna still look for a good entry point. But when I sold it at $100, I'm pretty happy about my decision because I had my gains, and I'm gonna continue just take a look at this particular stock because it has potential. Then I have Mara. Also, I sold some of my stocks when it was with gains. And now we're gonna go to the ETF sections. Right now, I have ARK V, or Bitcoin ETF, which is almost 15% of my portfolio and has gains 20% up. This is a Bitcoin ETF, so it has potential to keep going up. TLT, right now 5% down. I've been holding it for a long time and I'm gonna still hold it. UVIX, pretty much same as BixY, which is a stock that does the opposite of the stock market. I'm just holding it because at some point I believe that the stock market is gonna go down and this stock will go up. 32% down, not worry about it. It's just 3.5% of my holdings. Um, CONY Coinbase ETF, 55% down, but I told you that everything that I lost here, I already crossed that loss mark, and now in the profits field, in the profit section, and uh, technically 30% up with regarding with my dividends. So we hover over here, you see 908, almost 1,000. Let's say it's $1,000 that I lost, but in dividends I am 1,700. So which is pretty much 1,700 minus 900 is 800 on profit. So as you can see, not worry about it. I love the dividends on this particular stock and I'm gonna hold it. SOXL, I sold it when it was when it reached a peak and it went a correction, and then it's gonna go back again. Still not uh, thinking about buying it until I see a correction. And then on cash, I'm 32% on cash, ready for September, and just buy a lot of cheap stocks. And that's make my $80,873, uh, almost 81,000. And now we can see that on my return is almost 15% up, and the SPY year today is 10% up. So I'm still ahead of the stock market with 5% in difference. I'm still beating the stock market with 5%. So that's pretty much what I wanted to show you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Just be aware on the stock market that check for September. At any point we might see a correction. If not, just be aware that you can always find a good entry point to find a cheap stock. That's it. Take care, guys. Goodbye.